Hey, this is Classic Gaming Part 1, and you're looking at a folder here of, well, kind of just my anticipation of how many parts we'll have. This could extend past 4, I don't even know. These are all just blank for right now, except for this one, which is where we're at. Part 1, this is, of course, the movie you'll be watching, or you are watching, I should say, and game art. This is basically an empty file that I'm including in here, which we're going to be putting some stuff into. Ultimately, this folder here will contain some of the finished things we build in this lesson. But for right now, the important thing is that it's set up with this kind of grid, so you might as well go ahead and open up that file if you're going to be playing the home game with us. And what is so unique about it is not much. It's just got this grid on it, which usually the files that I start with don't have any sort of grid or anything. I don't find them necessary. And let's see. So if you ever want to go and play around in that, edit grid, it's just right here. What I have this set to is 5 pixels by 5 pixels, and snap to grid. Let's see, always snap is that. But anyway, that's just want to let you guys know how things are different than usual. Otherwise, pretty much we're just going to be using this whole stage to just make some retro style artwork. It's kind of an interesting lesson because, as you all know, usually in Flash we are using vector art, which is kind of, if you scale it, it's, look at that, just it holds up. That's not like regular bitmap artwork. I'm sure everyone has zoomed in on a image from time to time and just seen what happens. It just gets all kind of crazy and pixelated. In fact, let's see. I can do that right now. I could show you. That's a Mac thing I just did. Don't try to do that at home. It won't work in Flash. It's you can see that when I just kind of created a image of my logo there. Look at that. Just kind of pixelates out. And so the weird thing is that we're going to be using little vector squares. Like, for example, I'm just going to create a square right now. Okay, it's a black square. It's got no stroke around it. I'm just going to pop it right on the screen, and I'll make it kind of a little bit smaller here. 5 by 5. And so we're going to just be using little vector shapes like this, okay, to build our own little kind of just pixelated pieces of artwork. And so that's kind of just the world we're going to be in here. It's kind of a new school way of doing an old school thing. So what else do I need to say to set this up? Well, you know what? Let me just kind of zoom this down a bit. And I'll move this somewhere over here. In fact, I'm going to create a new layer, just lock this. And let me just talk, I guess, real quick about kind of the relative size of things here. In fact, you know what, I just cut off those little pieces I had, but even at 5 by 5, these look kind of small. This is if I were to make the whole stage about 100% here. These guys look pretty small, but you know what, they're going to get even smaller. What I'm going to be doing is just working with these 5 by 5 rectangles, and then when I get done making the shape that I'm making, I'm going to make them even smaller. What I'm going to do is after everything gets completed with whatever kind of artwork we're doing, if it's a guy, if it's a background, a hill, whatever it is, I'm just going to go over here to scale and rotate, and I'm just going to take it down by 20%. So obviously a 5 by 5 shape would then be a 1 by 1 shape. Okay, so like right now, I'm sure you can't even see that rectangle anymore. There it is. It's still there, and it truly is a pixel now. All right, so we are going to be bringing everything down to that little tiny size, and I do want to keep everything kind of true to form. If we're going to be creating, I guess, fake pixel artwork, it just makes sense to really have it sized up correctly, and you will see kind of a difference, I think. You know, we're not going to cheat this. We're going to make real kind of pixelated stuff. We're not going to, you know, be making circles that you know, that are vector circles. I mean, for example, like a nice little circle like this. Take a look. When we zoom in on it, oh, look at that! It's got this nice kind of It's perfect, all right? 360 degrees. Well, when we create the same kind of thing with pixel artwork, well, we got to figure out how to basically make shapes that, kind of mimic the shape of a circle. And you'll see what I mean in just a sec. Let's go ahead and do this. Let's go and, again, we're just going to make a 5 by 5 rectangle, all right? And I'm going to convert this to a symbol, okay? I'm going to make it, I'm going to actually set the registration up there. I think it's a good idea to keep it top left. Not so much for this lesson, but for further lessons, I think the registration point is going to be best left in that little area. Let's see, the name of this, I'm just going to call it Pixel. In fact, fake pixel, because it's not really a pixel. Alright, so let's do this. Let's zoom in now. And you'll notice that with the snapping parameters that I've already set up for this thing, that the everything kind of snaps like right to the middle, like intersection on this grid, alright? So as I'm, if I were just to copy and paste something out here, when I move it around, it should just kind of be snap. Oh wait, maybe I have to have that on. There we go. So I'll be kind of doing this. And, I say to draw in this lesson, but really, drawing is just going to be moving, these pixel blocks from one place to another. So it's kind of not really drawing, but when I draw artwork through here, it's just going to be mostly just going and kind of just quickly, dragging stuff through like this and like I said, keeping it aligned to this grid, true to the, I guess, parameters that old school gamers had to conform to, which they had, their stage was a certain size, and they had to make stuff out of pixels. So let's see, what are we going to talk about here? Well, let's get rid of all this stuff. And oh, what I did want to mention was how to copy drag like I was just doing. What you're going to be doing is on the PC holding down the control key, okay? And so if you hold that key down and you just click on the shape and drag it out like that, okay, oops, and I messed it up. It should just, make a new one, make a copy of it, all right? And generally these things will snap kind of perfectly in place to the intersections, and that's kind of important because if things don't snap, like if they're just kind of like that, when we break apart all these shapes, and when I say break apart, this is what I mean, we're going to actually eventually bring them back down to being just artwork again, not symbols, okay? Then when we fill in color, okay, so if I were to take like a fill, and well, if I'd actually made a complete shape, it's important not to have these guys have any gaps like that, alright? You know what? I'm just going to undo all this. And I do just want to show you right now. Let's see what I mean by that. So if I had a shape like this, let's see, let's get that out of there. And if I were to break it apart, okay, so if I were to go to here and then go over here and grab the paint bucket, there we go. I'll fill in like that. And if I had kind of a shape that was kind of like that, but let's say like this, obviously it's not going to fill in, okay? There's no, it's going, hey, what do you mean? What are you talking about? It's not like Photoshop where if you were to do this and click, it would just fill in this whole area around it either. It needs a nice little complete shape like that. So anyway, let me go ahead and bring up the library. It's got a bunch of junk in here from my logo, but I'm just going to get this pixel right back out again. And okay, all right, so let's do this. Let's, as I was about to start doing a minute ago, let's make a circle out of this. And here's kind of the weird thing. When I first started practicing this kind of form of artwork, I was taken a little aback because I started to do this. I started to, I was going, well, I'm going to make a circle. And, well, what happened is I just made a diagonal line like that. I was having real trouble. I didn't know where to, going, well, wait, eventually this will curve, right? No, it just keeps making a diagonal line. So anyway, what we got to do is just kind of, as we make a line like this, just need to like kind of double down or triple down some of these pixels so they go straight down, and then we can do like a single one there, and eventually what it will do is make a circular shape. And you note at this point I could just take what I've already created, let's see, and just copy and paste it all out. But I'm just going to, while we're getting started here, I'm just going to do the whole thing out like this. And again, just copy dragging these things one after another. I'm trying to keep this thing symmetrical. All right. And there we go. So that is a pixel circle. All right. And you can see, of course, obviously there is a bit of a difference here, but let's do this just to kind of experiment out. What I'm going to do is, well, I'm just going to select this one right here. I'm going to break it apart. Okay. Let's fill it in with some color, like that. And just for kicks, I'm going to take this vector circle, or this nice smooth one here, and I'm just going to copy and paste it right back onto itself with a little color change too. In fact, I'm going to use the, where is it? Scale and rotate. I'm just going to make this a little bit bigger. Let's see. Okay, all right. So, you can tell a major difference between these two shapes at this level, but what happens when we make them a bit smaller? Okay, you can still tell a difference. Let's scale and let's scale it a little bit more. Let's make it about 20%. All right, and I'll move these off to the side so we can see. You can still tell. You can still see it, but even actually the kind of the real circle here, let's just zoom in, let's see. Again, perfect at that level, but when it's out like this, it does kind of, I don't know. You do kind of see pixels, I guess. Because, hey, your whole screen is made up of pixels. But anyway, so that's just kind of experiment number one with this whole thing. And again, I'm sure you did notice this, but I made this thing... I scaled it down 20%. So now if I were to zoom back in on this guy, let's get back down here to this level, and if I were to select on one of these rectangles that's just 1 by 1, well, it is 1 by 1 now. Previously when I was working, it was a 5 by 5 shape. The reason I'm doing everything at kind of that where the pixels are 5 by 5 is just when you notice when it's this small, you can't zoom in past a certain point. You notice how my magnifying glass just kind of doesn't give me this option to go click in any further. Just kind of my own preference. That was kind of annoying me because I was, creating this stuff at this like kind of, super small shape. I just found it to be a little bit easier if I was working at everything at 5 times the size and then just shrinking it down later. So that's why, for anyone that was just kind of wondering, hey, why not just make a 1 by 1 grid? Well, anyway. Okay, so let's do this. I'll just keep that off to the side for right now, and let's go ahead and get this pixel back out here again to really do some work. What I want to do is make a character that is eventually going to be about 20 pixels wide by 30 pixels tall. So I'm just going to kind of create my own little quarantine grid for that, so I don't extend too much past that. And you'll see what I mean here. Let's see, I'm just going to make a shape or a line that is 100 by 150. Okay, so if I were to decrease that by 20%, then it would be 20 by 30. Makes sense. Okay, and so now I'm just going to lock that in. So this way I know that when I start just kind of creating pixels in this whole little area, that I know when I shrink it down it'll be about exactly the size that I want. Okay, so we're going to make something other than a circle. Let's make our first character. Okay, I'll start the pixels right up there. Let's zoom in even more. Look at this guy, kind of a flat top. kind of. What am I saying? He's definitely got a flat top. Look at him. Okay, so I'm just going to be doing the head. And I think for creating these little gaming characters, it's, you know, we're going into the world of just ultra cute. And for ultra cute, I think it's a good idea to make the head kind of, well, almost the same size as the entire rest of the body. Okay, so let's go. That'll be kind of the chin, I guess. And let's see. I'm gonna start back over on this side now. Oops. So this will be the back of the head. No, let's move that one right over there. Sometimes these shapes snap perfectly. Sometimes they don't. Sometimes they give me a little bit of trouble. And one more down, let's see. Alright, I'm going to actually take this whole thing and just move it over a little bit. Just trying to get an idea of the whole size of this. Okay, let's give him a little bit of like a shirt collar, I guess. Let's make his neck a little bit wider. So that way it'll come down to a nice little point like that. Make him like a little fat guy, I guess. He's kind of got a big fat head. So let's do this. Let's go ahead and figure out where we're going to put his little eyes. Alright. Give him a little, let's give him a little sad face, why not? Frown him down like that. He doesn't want to be playing the game. Alright, just a little bit of, this will be like the ear over here. So give him a little sideburn, I guess. And what do we say? Give him hair? Sure. I've noticed if I don't, let's see, if I don't copy drag something, sometimes it doesn't want to snap. There we go. Kind of annoying working like this in this style. Hey, but it's all worth it in the end, right? Okay, so let's see. Let's zoom out a bit just to kind of... Alright, that'll be about right. I have to squeeze in the rest of the body, but I think we can do it. Let's see, give him his little shoulders here. Little sleeves on his shirt, let's see, like that. His little armpit. And of course you'll have little stubby arms, but hey. Ah, I did it again. Alright. And let's give him a nice little kind of belly out here. Let's see. How much room we got? Well, better tuck that up there. All right, we'll let's get across here. We'll make a little bit of a belt. It looks like his legs will probably be the stubbiest part of this little dude. Let's zoom out of it. Let's see. What is kind of fun though about doing this, this little micro art is working big like this and then shrinking it down. You kind of get this, you get some weird little surprises, like things you might not have anticipated. Oh, no, that's not on the grid. You know what? Let's put that over there. We do got to give him some shoes, though. Alright, let's see if I can get away with just copying that. Okay, cool. Here we are. So he's a little bit taller than I wanted, but only by about a pixel. Alright, let's give him a little bit of a belt. Oops. Alright, you don't want to get in there. Yeah, sometimes the snapping has a mind of its own. Okay. Alright, so there we are. He's a cute little fat man. Let's move him out of this zone. In fact, I'll just copy and paste him over here. Let's do this. Let's break them apart. Okay, let's fill them in with some color. Some nice blue pants. How about that? And let's see. No, it's too skin tone. Let's go. How about green shoes? And you know what? Let's do one last thing. Let's bring a pixel back over here. And we'll throw in just a little bit of a highlight right here. Just be sure you select it like this, all right? And when you break it apart, just going to break apart, and then, without letting go, get some color in there like that. And that may or may not look good. We'll see later. All right, so let's do this, though. Boy, he's definitely got a belly, huh? Let's go ahead and make him 20% size. So now he's quite small. Okay, let's do this. Let's select him, and I'm gonna make him into a symbol. F6 will do that for you. No, F8. I'm sorry. Let's call him man. And let's see. This is actually at 83%. Let's get it at 100, and let's just take a look at him on a white background. Just going to unlock this same layer that my logo is on and just bring them down here. Lock that again. I just want to see what he looks like against a little white background. Hey, he's a cute little guy. Look at that. He's definitely he'll definitely make a good little gaming piece. You know what? I did notice this before when I was just kind of practicing on my own. It's hard to see that kind of dark color. It's hard to tell that the belt is even in there. It almost makes more sense to, and same with the shoes too. When it's only this one pixel line of it, it's kind of hard to tell what's going on. It might be better to take like a yellow like that, throw it in, and even that. Well, it is only one line of, it's just tough. But yeah, there he is. He's a cute little fellow. So let's do this. We got him. He's ready to go. We'll pull him off to the side. I guess maybe if we want to change him, I don't know, make his shoes bigger, change him stylistically, it'd be a good idea to just kind of leave this version of him where he's still got all these like little symbols making him up. And so what I'll do is I'll go ahead and just create a symbol out of this, and what it will do is convert to symbol, is it'll just keep it in the library for us so we can pull them back out later. So we'll call this man for library. And the reason I don't just, use or don't where I break apart these symbols is because when the game gets created, it's easier on the Flash player to process through just the artwork, just the broken down kind of fill artwork, versus having to like kind of figure out, oh my goodness, all these symbols are now shooting across the screen. That seriously slows things down. So when you get a piece made, just be sure you go to break apart. And of course you have to do that too to be able to fill in the color as well. Okay, so now let's go on to a whole different thing. We'll steal a pixel from this guy though. We do need one. Always need one pixel to start. Let's give him a little bit of ground to stand on. And what I'm going to do here is just create nice little pattern. Okay, take all this. It's gonna go like that, and let's see. Kind of go. Well, let's just do one more of them, like that. All right. And now what I'll do is kind of take this whole thing and move it over there like that. And you know what, buddy? You got to get out of the way. Alright, is that looking kind of perfect? I think it is. Okay, so again, I'm just going to... what am I going to do? You know what, I'll break it apart, and we'll kind of colorize this whole thing. And in a case like this, it might just be easier to grab some green, alright, and then just make a big block of it like that. And then take this, and then just put it right over top. And then what we'll do is just trim it. I guess I didn't need to make all that on the side there, but let's see. Or do I have a good pattern? It's hard to tell. You know what, I might have to chop that off. Well, let's just see what happens. When yeah. Okay, alright, yeah, that works. Okay, so let's do this. Let's make this one kind of smaller. Yeah, okay, I can tell that'll work out nicely. All right, let's try to do a few more levels of this. Okay, we'll do it one more time. Whoa, weird. All right, that works. And let's go ahead and make it even smaller. Okay, so that'll be good. That'll be a nice little kind of, looks like a green pasture that this guy can walk on here. And let's see. I am, oh, well, let's see. Do I make it a symbol now or later? I don't know. You know what? I'll just, I'll cut it out one more time like this. See, I gotta get this perfect though. I'm just trying to match up this. If I keep my eye focused on this side right here, I can kind of match this up perfectly. See where it's going to dip down like that. So that should work for us. And at least for the game, again, kind of what I was saying before, it's I don't want to have too many symbols trying to lag down the processor of the Flash player, but at the same time I also don't want to have too much excessive kind of line artwork too. So I think what I'll do now is I'll just go ahead and make this into a symbol called grass, and now I guess if I want to repeat it, what I'll do is I'll just copy out a symbol like that and use it that way. I'd say you could, also, bend it out like that, or you could do something like this. I'm trying, as I was saying before, I'm trying to, keep this, true to the kind of pixel art of it. But, with a pattern like this, it just kind of, if you do stretch it or squash it, it kind of just looks like, well, you just used more pixels, okay? So it's not like you're really kind of arbitrarily blowing up some things like that and other things that aren't the same size, but it'll work for us. In fact, let me just undo everything and get it back down to that size. Okay, so and also don't forget too, we also have some properties in here that you could play with. If you have this selected and you go over here to properties, we could play around with the advanced tinting. So if you do find that, oh no, you know what, I don't actually like that color, instead of going in there and then suddenly having to select a bunch of the crazy, select every single row of color, you could just tint it in here. And certainly for creating like a game, I guess, you'll be reusing a lot of these same shapes and whatnot, but you might want to just change the color to so it's a little bit different. So anyway, kind of like it like that for some reason. I think that looks kind of nice. Okay, so let's do this. Let's create some platforms, or yeah, I guess we'll just call them platforms for this little guy to jump on. And let's do this. We will kind of my little thing here, my quarantine, make it 100 by 100. Alright, so now I know that if I were to shrink this down, if I were to fill in that whole area, it would be a 20 by 20 shape. And that 20 by 20 size will kind of come in later once we start programming the game. Because, whoops, locked layer. So here we are. I'm gonna give her a little square, just a bit of a curve at the edges, so it's not totally pointed. Oh, you know what? No point doing that again. Just pasting that back, and there we go. You know what? Same with this line right here. And I'll just save one pixel, throw it off to the side. I'm going to just select all this right now, and I think I'll change the color of it to kind of a darker brown. Alright, and let's do this. Let's make the interior shape of this kind of a nice, yeah, that's a good one. Nice yellow. And alright, let's do this. Let's make a little bit of kind of the feeling of, like, I guess a bevel around this shape. And you know what? Let me do this. Let me take that pixel I just had. I'm going to lock this layer and then just kind of work one up from it. All right. And we'll do this. So I'm going to select all these shapes now and just going to break them apart. You know what? Actually, before I break them apart, let me just save one pixel. Okay. Break them apart. I'll make them, what color? Maybe like that. So yeah, see, here's kind of when you get into the problems, is when you have these symbols sharing a layer with some of the other artwork, the snapping tends to get a little bit confused, because it's like, well, is it snapping to the grid, or am I supposed to be snapping to the artwork that's also on the layer? Okay, I'm just going to break these apart, and just want to select the black part, and make this kind of that color. Okay. Get this guy down here. You know what, that didn't really go perfectly on there, but that's alright. Okay. Let's do this. Let's combine these two layers, because they're two separate ones right now. So I'm just going to, my easiest way to do that, just to cut them both and paste them both in place again. For this color, let's see, let's make that a little bit darker, but not as dark as this one. You can kind of see just a little imperfection down here. This is kind of the exact thing I was trying to avoid, but, well, I guess I can just move it over like that. Okay, and so we've got this little, you know, this L shape over here is, or backwards L shape, is kind of just, you know, when we shrink it down, it should seem like that this is a bit highlighted and beveled out a bit. This pixel right here, I guess this might kind of look like some sort of screw or something, maybe just a bolt, I guess. And let's do one more thing. Let's take some pixels and just do one little highlight out this way. So we'll make that a little bit lighter, like that. And you know, let's do the same thing. I'm just going to rotate them. Oh, whoops, didn't mean to do that. All right, copy this shape, and I will paste it over there. Okay. Problem is, if you let go of a shape on top of another one, it is going to just kind of tear it apart. It will just eat right through it. Okay. So it's kind of just a, like I said, just a platform we will use later. Let's call this, I don't know, golden platform. Alright, move it out of its little area there, and let's do this. Let's see what it looks like, kind of at real size. Okay, so yeah, that'll be kind of groovy. You know, this guy can jump on top of it, like so. Give him lots of these, and these should be good repeating shapes. You can see, so our little guy can like run across them like that. And you know, I don't know how much of this is showing up in the video, but I feel like definitely these little pixels on the corners, they kind of feel like little bolts or something. And you know, play around, just see what happens if you were to take, say, you know, another one, and again, it's kind of hard to snap these guys together. Let's see. You can see what happens if you pull out another one like that. So, okay, got that going on. You know, I feel like our grass area here, it needs a little bit more to it. It needs something. It's not perfect. Drive me crazy if it's not perfect. Let's do this. Let's work on making just kind of a like a pipe or something. I'm just gonna grab just some pixels out here. I'm just gonna keep kind of pulling them this way. All right, and let's take this shape. I'm just gonna make it kind of a bright green, and I'm gonna copy that down and make it a little bit darker. Do the same thing again. And let's do it one last time. It's kind of like that. I'm going to clip the ends of this because I do want it to be kind of perfect, because now I think what I'll do is scale it out this way. This is, of course, the midway through this entire video, I'm introducing the scale tool. Oh man, I apologize if I didn't really make that clear before, but yeah, if you hit Q, you'll always get to the free transform tool, which just kind of lets you do things like this. Anyway, here we are. Let's make this now 20%. Alright, so that's kind of a... thinking this could be maybe a nice little border for our grass area. So let's do this. I'm going to make this into a symbol. Let's call this, I don't know, ground pipe, or, you know, it's pretty arbitrary what we call these things. Okay, yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking. Something along those lines. You know what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to arrange this so this pipe is sent back a bit. Yeah, like that. Okay. Let's see how this looks at 100%. Yeah, kind of cool. I feel like I messed up my my little pixel pattern by scaling it the wrong way. Now I don't know how this was originally supposed to look, but I think that looks, yeah, it looks kind of clever. That's cool. Let's see. Trying to get a good idea. Let's see. Well, I'll make this instead of a white. Let's make this, how about like a nice blue or something. Oh, let's just call it sky. Okay, let's see. Scale that out a bit. No, I need to repeat this out. That's what I need to do. And again, you kind of gotta get in close here to do that perfect repeating shape. Let's see. That's about right. Alright, cool. I'm, you know, kind of feeling it. It's looking good. Okay, let's do this. Before I put a pause in this video, because I think I gotta break this video up to do all the game art that I want to accomplish, I'll do a real quick cloud. How about that? And I think this could be size-wise, let's see, probably maybe like, yeah, about like that or something. Okay, so let's go crazy. Zoom in a bit more. Of course, this is a cloud, so we don't have to put too much thought into it. Clouds can look basically however we want. think it would drive me nuts if I had to draw like this all the time. I'd just go berserk. But stylistically, there's some websites are totally like this. One really cool one is the Habbo Hotel. If you ever check that out, it's an amazing thing. It's all in this kind of old school pixel style, but isometric, so it's got a little bit more depth. We're just doing kind of a flat thing here, but yeah, that's something else. Habbo Hotel. That's HABBO Hotel, I think. Kind of a big hit in Europe. Okay, what am I doing? Gotta get my eye back on here. Another cool one, I'm not sure the exact address, but I think if you were to Google it, you could find one called Hammer and Tongs. They're a production company, actually, but just for some groovy reason, they decided to style their, or at least part of their website, and it's really cool pixel art. Ah, hate it when it does this. There we go. Okay, yeah, that's cloud-like, right? I do want it to go right. Let's see, right like that. And let's put this one right there. Okay, so let's see what happens when we break this whole thing apart. And let's do this. Let's get it just kind of a nice blue lining. I'm going to fill it in white, of course. And then I think it's a good idea to do this. Just to keep it simple, I'm just going to grab a few shapes we've already made, and I'm just going to copy them and just paste them on a layer above. Okay, and I'm just going to make them kind of a little blue shape like that. Not as dark as the exterior line, but just to kind of give our cloud a little bit of fake depth, I guess. And you know what? That's a nice little shape. So let's do this. I'm going to just copy it one more time and then flip it horizontally. And just kind of throw it up here like that. And this too is a nice little shape, so let's go ahead and put that maybe right there. Go down a bit with it. Let's see, where else can we do something like this? Okay, so let's see. Yeah, that's a nice little cloud. All right, let's take them out of here. And let's bump them down 20%. Oh, so cute. So there we go. We got like a little cloud. Let's call it a little cloud. And you know what? He is really little. Let's do this. Let's go back up. Well, actually, we can be anywhere. In fact, let's just go right over here. What I'm going to do is zoom in and just pile together some clouds like this. And hopefully what we can do is make some bigger clouds. So what I'm going to do is break apart all of these. Alright, so I'm just going to go like that. And then, I think what I'll do is maybe copy this cloud, paste it over here, break it apart, but make it all white like this. So now I just kind of have this pixelated shape that I can kind of just smash in the middle there. You know what? break it in half. Let's do that. So I'll cut off just some of that. I've just got it selected if it's hard to tell, and I'm just going to kind of, using the directional arrows, just move it around and just overlay it on top of some of this other stuff, so it just kind of deletes it out. And that should keep people from noticing the pattern of it all. And you know what? There are some kind of ugly bits in here, like this. So you might just want to go and get rid of some of that. And in fact, best way to do it, there we go. And let's see. Oops. What I meant to do was this. There we go. Alright. You know, and let's just steal again, it's just a few of these lines. Okay, they're already there. And paste them like that. Let's use this color sample tool, the eyedropper, to just kind of grab that there. And you know what, let's steal these guys, paste them, let's see, like right there. Alright, so that's kind of a big mess of a cloud, but that works. Big cloud. And video games do, these old video games do, of course, have a lot of repeating shapes to them, so you might see like something like this happen. Alright. Or actually, probably even more likely, it would just be something like that. So your guy travels across, he kind of runs into the Flintstone style background. It just repeats over and over again. What else to consider? Well, you know what? I am going to put a break in the video here. I feel like it's getting abnormally large or long. And I'll come back in just a sec with, obviously, Classic Gaming Part 2. I'll be in there, and we'll pick up right where we left off with this.